Alright, hello everyone. We have returned. We may still be sipping or snacking, but we can get things going again. Refreshing. Now, where we're going to pick up is Bright has been summoned to the wreck of the Wild Cherry by Gak and two other scout goblins. Bright, you've been able to keep up with them. Actually, for once, like, y'all are moving the same speed. It's nice not having to, like, double time to just keep up with people. Is there anything that you would like to say or inquire about as you travel from the APC through the initial, like, the couple, like, goblin village, like, front area, then over the hill, and to get behind it where the wreckage is? Is there anything in particular you'd like to talk about or ask your goblin guide?
Well, a lot of things that I already know out of character.
Okay. Then we can hand wave and say you can access those in character now.
Okay.
So.
I don't think there's anything else.
Okay. All right, then. Bright, with her own eyes, will see that there is, in fact, the part of a ship here, and you will be you'll be taken into it here, following along. You will also see that there are these very primordial goblinoids, these potato people, and having left the hill area, kind of going back into the main hangar here in the rear of the ship, the two of you, Gak and Bright, will find Loki, probably in some kind of a mood or doing something. Loki will be here, but Mordecai and Celine won't. So in the time scale of things, or the scheme of things, those two are still talking to this elder in the cave, and you'll have a little bit of time to yourselves, and then, well, we'll have the big beat up. So Bright and or Loki, whoever wants to get the first question or comment in, you're welcome to.
How are things on the ship?
Oh, Fluffy, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
I thought Loki talked, so I didn't talk.
Oh yeah, he asked how things are up back on the ship.
Oh, you mean back on the Norallie? Sorry, I don't think of it as a ship anymore. Yeah.
Wait,
it's,
what?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean back on the Norallie. It's Norallie now. It's a whole big thing. She's become the ship, or the ship has become her. One way or another, there's a whole thing.
You Seltur yourself?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, you know how things go with her.
Can we unselter her?
Boop, boop, boop. Bright.exe has ceased functioning.
It's a work in progress. So the problem is nobody knows what happened to her body, and actually I'm a little concerned about that, because what if she's disintegrated? She'll be in the ship forever, but maybe not. I don't know. It's always hard to tell. But at least I was able to talk to her a little bit, so that's good.
Yeah. we'll probably have to get everyone together and figure this out. And
Yeah.
the other two are talking to a crazy goblin.
Oh, you mean Gak? He's right here.
No, like an old crazy goblin.
Oh. Well. Okay then.
That you weft? You weft the elder?
Didn't feel like speaking with him.
The elder is such full of wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't need wisdom.
Gak looks mildly offended. As you are discussing the integration, reintegration, or disintegration of Norallie here in the hangar, at some point, and by the way, Bright, I can very much have you include what you heard through the investigation in the hangar here. It certainly looks like there was something happened in the main storage hangar here in the rear of the ship. Because you have time. I mean, Loki's here as well. Can either catch you up or like just bring about it, but you can piece that together as well. So feel free to use that out of character knowledge now in character. As you're kind of musing around, looking at these sort of primordial people that are here as well.
Yeah, it's yeah, there's definitely a lot to it. So, who's this elder guy? Are we supposed to meet with him, or are we supposed to wait for the others to come back from him?
You wanna talk to him, go ahead.
You seem somewhat you don't seem real enthusiastic about him.
No, he's a crack job.
Well, that could be good.
Maybe.
Coming through the hatch in the area that would have led through the tunnels and the broken hill, one or both of you can see that Norallie and Mordecai are approaching the hangar that you're in.
Norallie?
I'm sorry, Celine. Celine and Mordecai, not Norallie. All right, apparently I'm having trouble with names here.
Maddie's getting old. He's a crackpot.
Yeah, it's okay.
I wasn't role-playing back there.
It was actually me the whole time.
Yeah, it was me the whole time. So yeah, Celine and Mordecai are seen entering the hangar now, from the broken hill in the caves.
Good. So, I guess you're done with the elder, who may or may not be wise and or a crackpot?
Did you figure out what?
He's 100% both.
Okay. Well, that would explain it.
But, you know, that was kind of rude back there, Loki.
You know, we have a time thing going on, right? And you guys spent half an hour talking to this guy. For what?
A lot of exceptionally pertinent information, actually.
Really? Like what?
Like what we need to do to make sure that we, as in Mordecai and I, are actually doing the right thing. So that, you know, we get to murder Schoeneruth. There's no point in saving the world if we can't enjoy the time we've already got.
Is any of that pertinent to the current situation of
You're going to talk about your sister because that's all you talk about. And unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with your sister. Right, do you have any?
Oh, yeah, we learned some things. She's stuck in a ship, she's dematerialized, and she can talk to us.
I keep telling her not to use wish. Because this happens. This kind of stuff happens. I mean, you should be rather thankful for the first time she used it, Loki. That's how she saved you. But
Or
this spell is exceptionally dangerous, and I don't know what you just...
Rather reckless with that bit of magic. Where in the world did she learn that?
I have no idea.
Mordecai looks over to Bright.
What? I didn't teach you.
Just accusing Bright of teaching her wit.
I don't know what you're looking at me for. I didn't teach it to her.
Like you're the one that taught the little kid a bad word or something. Did you teach my... You know...
Did you teach my sister to cast the most powerful spell in existence?
no, like she
Wasn't
doesn't.
me.
She doesn't just learn magic. She just doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is exceptionally dangerous without a little bit of, figuring out how a thing works before cracking it off.
That's why we had Mr. Halver. He was kind of teaching her, not magic, but teaching her like what to do with it.
Right.
Did the
It would make
Elder
sense
talk
the
to you,
dragon
or
would do this.
are you supposed to
Yes.
go, or are you supposed to stay? What did he say? Gak.
We need to go and excise the wound.
I would have told you that much, and I didn't spend half an hour talking.
Context, Loki. Context. It's not something you need. It's not something you need to worry about, but it is something that we do need to worry about. As the two Mordecai and I, as the two more faith-bound of the current company.
Faith-ish.
It's still faith.
So you spent half an hour discussing religion.
Gak leans in.
No.
Do you...
Faith, not religion.
Are you like the Elder?
Same difference.
I don't know how you mean, Gak.
A little bit.
Do you talk to the Twees? Do the hills sing to you?
Come to think of it, the whistling in there.
The wind.
The wind. Yeah, it was, Oh, I'm gonna have to write that down. And Mordecai frantically looks about for a piece of paper on his person and starts writing bars and notes.
Great, you guys are clerics. You speak for the trees.
I think that's the Lorax.
What's a Lorax?
I guess it's
Oh,
like
that's that thing that I read in that children's story that one time.
speaks for the trees.
Oh. That must be a Aslandian thing.
So there's
I mean,
more of you who can do this? It's not just the Elder?
Yes.
Well, I can't speak directly to trees, but,
Can't
the land has a voice of her own.
And we
In a
can
way?
interpret it. And we can interpret it.
I mean, I never have tried, because I usually just speak with adorable animals. But I could probably speak with trees. Not right now, but maybe I could do it tomorrow if you needed. But What would I say?
Just say thank you.
Which of the three do you speak to?
What do you mean?
3.
But there's the three. The elder talks about the three.
The three what? Excuse me, the three what?
But there's it's the one it's like the morning, then there's the one that's like the afternoon, and the one that's the night, I think. It's an adult one, I think. I'm a little confused. What is it called? The
This
three,
reminds
though.
me of a whittle.
But they have names. It's like the people from the village that you had come from. They are the ones who speak of WoW. Then there's the ones that we're going through. It's the ones that speak of the V, and then there's the ones where the hurt is, and that's where the zoo is.
Oh, so maybe
Zuviwa.
it's Zuviwa. Well, that's interesting. Mordecai, didn't you know that already? Isn't this something you should have known?
I knew her name.
How did this never come up?
She calls herself Zuviwa.
Well, maybe it's not that simple.
Maybe it's not. She just gave me letters to spell a name with.
No, I get it. 1 is 3 and 3 is 1. It is the cycle of day and night. And she is the embodiment of all of it. So, yes, Gak, the elder does speak of the 3, but we know her as one being. Mordecai and I. And she is who we revere.
Oh. Are you the... what was it? Oh, you must be the Quone.
Crone.
Or possibly clone.
I don't think she looks like she's old enough to be a crone.
I mean, technically speaking, I am, but
Well, you're only 20-something.
and I've lived easily triple that. Not including my time in the death dimension.
You look like you're 20-something. I go off of that.
You can go off of that all you'd like. Time doesn't care for your thoughts.
Well, and I don't think any
Well-
of us count time spent in hell dimensions. I mean, really.
No.
Oh no,
Well, technically,
poor
yes, that
poor
would make
Brian
sense.
actually might be. Like,
Yeah.
let's just not count that time, because technically I'm 100,000 years old, and let's just skip over that.
Let's not think about that. We don't want to think about that.
No, if anything, I'm the old one, because I look like I'm 47.
Mm-hmm.
In your late 40s.
Yep.
Well,
That's the joy in it.
if you have the blessing of the elder, you can even speak with the wand. Then maybe you're here to save us. You've come to actually rid the wand of the infection. You're supposed to be here.
We're
Well,
supposed to be here.
We're supposed to be here. That is our aim, both in the short term and in the long term. So, where is this infection?
With the excited tone, as you ask, with the excited tone though that that Gak has brought up, the hangers on here of the doppels, those who had been left behind, had been listening in, getting around closer, especially as the conversation that you might be like this elder, and really, before you know it, you're surrounded by a lot of these, well, as you heard the Elder call them, doppels. And the hangar is filled with young and old alike, as that, for the most part, has been those who have been left behind by those that had been rallied by the organizing forces and taken to assail the dwarves. You speak? A couple of them say in a very primitive, like they might have picked up a couple words of Northern Common here. And there's also just a lot of chatter in their native language as well.
If it's been less than an hour, tongues is still active on me and Loki.
And me as well.
It would have been expired.
Nah. Boo.
You guys didn't spend half an hour. You spent a whole hour talking.
It was important, okay?
Sorry for fueling Loki's pessimism, everyone.
Just because you don't get it, Loki.
And
it was important to us.
They come up to you,
worms.
Celine and Mordecai, and just these little hands are like reaching out and like they're touching you, like they're sort of like in awe, as the two of you you have the attention of maybe not the others, but of all the doppels in the hangar, as they're chattering amongst themselves, and they come up and they're asking you questions in their language. They're looking at you, with eye contact. They want to just like touch your hand, and like so one will touch your hand, Mordecai, and then sort of like look and smile, like I just touched a hero kind of a thing. Like, these creatures are absolutely in awe of the both of you as you stand amongst them.
I don't even know what for. I didn't do anything yet.
I'm gonna spend my last double spell slot to recast tongues on myself.
All right.
And Celine's gonna go, Alright. I can very much understand that you're excited, but there is much work to be done.
Yeah, what? You've been sent by the land. You've been sent to save the doppels.
And then we shouldn't tarry with her wishes now, should we?
What would you have us do, lady?
I think, to begin, we shall inspect this wound. And I think...
Or possibly ruined. Or maybe lewd.
Actually, no, I have a better idea. If you come with us, we might be able to get some repairs done to help a friend of ours. And if we do this, we will be able to survey the wound from the air.
We don't know what to repair. Do you need a hut made? Do you need food made? And there's a lot of chatter, like some are like, I can't go to the wound. I have my little ones to care for, or or even like, because the expectant mothers are left behind too. Like I can't. It's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. Just going there, you'll die. You'll die if you're close enough. they're in a bit of a panic there, and others are like, "We want to help, but what do you need us to build?" But it all sounds very like simple stuff that they're offering.
Yeah. And Celine would like be like, all right. We have a ship,
Metal.
much like this one, except smaller. The difference is, this one cannot fly anymore. But
So-
our one,
Tell them we need metal.
yes, we do. We need metal.
They look all around here, and there's metal here.
I would think that it would be best that you didn't stay here, due to the fact that the ones who were controlling you, the ones who were subjugating you, may return, and with friends. And we don't want that.
Yeah, you have to stop the landed from coming. They'll come. They'll be upset that you took out the lieutenant, and then of course there's what happened in the town.
And we will. And taking this metal and using it
I'm
to
gonna
help
start on a
us.
floating disc. I'm gonna start on a tensor's floating disc. I may not finish it, but
Okay.
we'll start on it. 10 minutes.
And with that to help us, not only will we be able to keep you safe from the landed coming, keep you away from them, but you'll also be helping us in solving a very big problem that will help us fix the wound. But I think, for right now, the best idea is this. Gak,
Yes.
I want you to take those who are able to work, along with any of the who do not want to go to the wound, and any women with their children, and go back to the ship.
No, I'm gonna take you to the wound.
Well, if we could have someone else take them to the ship.
And
Get them started on
and
working
Gak
on it.
actually seems very like defiant, but also prideful. Like he's not trying to be insolent. He actually seems to be very much determined. Like is
that
willing to bring you to this place that, according
Yep.
to what all of the rest of them are saying, just approaching that place means death.
That is fine. If you have someone that you trust, have them take the women, the children, and those who are able to work but do not want to go to the wound to the ship. Everyone else,
If there's any scrap metal that they could find and use to take to the ship, I'll figure it out how to repair the ship when we get there.
yeah. As for us, we will go and inspect the wound. With you as our guide, Gak. Does that sound like a fair enough plan? It will bring the people out of harm's way, whilst those who wish to go to the wound and survey it with us will be able to.
Okay. He turns and he starts. And you can understand, Celine, but he starts sort of barking out orders in Goblin or in whatever their language. And some of them start like gathering into groups and kind of scampering and doing various things. Gak turns to you and tells you that the other scouts that originally went to go fetch Bright can lead people back to the crash ship after doing some scavenging. But if you're going to go, you're going to need to set out now. And he can take you. There's already supplies. A lot of these doppels have already brought you. Like snacks and canteens of water, and also like more than what you would need for a supposedly not terribly long journey.
Good idea. It'll be a long journey, and she looks to Mordecai with that thought of some rest might be in order. Like the thing of we are kind of stretching ourselves thin, and sleeping is probably a good idea.
Yeah. Getting some rest isn't a bad idea.
So?
There's no time. You have to go. They'll be here.
Oh no, I mean on our way, on our way, of course. But yes, let us get prepared, and we shall see this done. And so it's going to be them, a lot of the goblins basically grabbing all the scrap metal, basically plundering the ship for literally everything they can find, and being led back to the USS Norallie, and us and Gak going to the wound, and because of how long of a journey it might be, we might camp out by the wound and then attack at dawn.
Maybe. What is the wound exactly? Or possibly the ruined or looned?
Gek, it's the place where, it's the big place where we had lived, but it's also where the other part of the ship had fallen that night. And it's where they had come out, and it's a bad place now. But that was our home, our big home.
What can you tell us about what we'll expect there? The more prepared we are to face it, then the better.
Those white you fought here, and those also who are more powerful. There's our people as well that have been turned. They have either been eaten or they've been turned into these things.
How many?
I don't know. I only have approached, but if I go there, that would have meant that I would have died, but if I'm with you, I'll do it. I'll do what I have to. I'm really scared,
Alright.
but
It's
the
okay
people
to be scared.
the people from there, they thought maybe we thought that we could possibly be friends. They taught me to speak their language and such, but they just, it's nothing like that. They've been eating us. They've been converting us. They've been building us up as some kind of an army.
With nary a thought on it, with nary a say on your end, I'm sure.
We've just lived out here, as far as I know, as far as the tales have been told. This has been our place. And then there were the dwarves, and there were the people who came after the dwarves. And then they fought, according to the tales. And then they fought. It was bad, from what I remember. There was a taking of some kind. What was it? What was I taught? A blide was taken from the dwarves. I think it was a blide.
Bride. Bride taken.
Is this like... Does this remind you of the dowry guards? I think it's probably...
The dowry guard. Those who guard a dowry. Something that was given before marriage. In some cultures.
And now they're shadow harmonics.
But from what I understand, from what the Shadowhar had told me, it was more than just that. The blide was given to a teacher, was given to the Weeder. And it wasn't just her. There was more. That's what caused such bad blood between the two. But the dwarves had been taken.
Well, the Emperor of the Shadowheart is dead. Whatever that would mean to anyone.
The Emperor... Yes. There's an Emperor, but that's not... I don't think that's what it was. Let's see what he might recall. I forget exactly what. But the dwarves were taken to be taught.
Taught.
As a way
Remind you of
to...
anyone?
As a way to, I guess, bind them together.
I know who that reminds me of.
A question, Gak. Does the name Mercury mean anything to you?
Mercury? No. I don't think so. That's not the Emperor, I don't think. It's not a governor.
No. When they spoke of the teacher.
She was a teacher to the Emperor. It makes sense.
Apparently, from what we've been taught, Shadowheart has always been a place of great learning. That's why they taught us to speak, and they taught us other things. Even though, well, the wound is what it is.
Well, I think it's time we make it in that direction. And, walk and talk from here.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, we need to leave. We need to go. And,
I am
the other goblins...
desperately low on spell slots. I am very low on spells.
My suggestion would be
Okay.
this. That we go make our way to the wound, and outside it, out of its proximity, we make camp until dawn, and go from there.
Well, yeah, so here's a funny thing that might bear mentioning, which is that I heard from Cypher today, and he said that he and Seltur are about to die. Just as a point of fact.
Then we desperately need to get back to them.
I'm rested well enough.
I mean, I'm not in great shape, but I'm functional. I can fight a little if we have to. I have a lot of brain cramps available. I just don't have a lot of other stuff.
I don't have much else myself, if I'm honest.
But I can cast a lot of brain cramps.
I can cast a couple of things, but otherwise I'm kind of strapped and limited to, the brief little divine fire that I can do.
I must say I'm also rather strapped. Getting through the Shadowheart, and then through here with little has taken its toll.
But we're on a mission, and we need to be hopeful. Right?
Yes.
Pessimism does nobody any good.
Exactly right. So we need to get going.
You set out, and you can walk and talk with Gak, who is... The initial bravado has worn off, and while he is continuing forward, as you put distance between here and where you're going, this wound, he does grow vigilant and nervous. And the day will pass. Oh, go ahead.
If nobody's going to be like doing much talking, Mordecai is probably going to be humming something.
Okay.
Just kind of making mental notes as to a song. One that he's been working on for a little while now. Kind of mouthing words. And when they rest, he's actually going to pull out his violin and actually start playing it. Like what little he has right now.
Well, for
It
right
isn't
now,
much.
you can walk and talk and hum and make notes. Over the course of this, you can get a short rest in this initial foray out to the wound.
Short rest is actually very good.
That's channel divinities.
Yep. The one that I used was out of my amulet. That restores at dawn, so...
Yeah, but I get my other ones.
Now,
You used a couple, huh?
I used all of them.
while you have set out, we're going to cut back. We're going to cut back to the ship. Norallie, you have been left alone. I mean, you have the familiar and you have the lizard, but you have been left to yourself. You felt this kind of a pressure, and you are able to tell that there is someone aboard the ship, the U. And he's just sort of cautiously walking. He's cautiously walking throughout the ship as the others are doing what they're doing. Is there anything that you are saying or doing with this plotting person?
Is he doing anything in particular other than just walking around?
Yeah, in a sense, you might be almost tickled as he tries to pull some different levers to open and close like some various hatches, or to open a panel and to peek into something. Every once in a while, like he's kind of mumbling something, but not in a language that you can understand, even though it's rather faint. But just because he's walking and mumbling so much, even catching a little bit, he's speaking in the dwarven language you had your limited exposure to. But as he's interacting with you, because you do have this kind of tremor sense, it's interesting as he's kind of like exploring, or like it's not like he's like ripping a fingernail off if he's opening a panel, but there's just, you have a feel that as the ship is being looked at or looked over, it just creates like an itch, or it would create kind of like the sensation of a single hair being plucked off your head, or some stimuli like that as he's going through the ship.
If he's not hurting anything, I wouldn't do
A couple times you might wince because he kicks something and he shouts pretty loudly. A word you don't understand,
Okay.
but he
If
probably said a
kicks
cuss
something,
word.
though.
Yeah, he seems to be rather aggravated. He shouts something. He shouts a bad word in Dwarven, and it gives the panel a kick.
If he kicks something, he's gonna get an electric shock. So I'm gonna need a strength save.
$12.
Nope. He's gonna take 19 points of electric damage after he kicks something.
He yells something and is apparently pushed back, and he just blows back from the panel and hits the wall.
It's not nice.
And he's dazed. Ugh. You get the feeling, Norallie, that there's now other creatures. Some of them are crawling over you, and a couple are starting to just sort of peek around inside the main entry to the ship. And you now are feeling about a dozen little feet that are scurrying into the ship. Similar to the three that you felt before when you were establishing contact with Bright.
Well, I kind of know that. Do I know they're goblins? Can I figure out they're goblins?
Yep.
Okay. I would know that goblins were coming because Bright had talked to me while the goblins were there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna do anything to them unless they go around kicking things, in which case I'm gonna keep shocking things because don't kick me.
The goblins continue to you can feel them around you, crawling over you. Not necessarily in a painful or hurtful way, but they're there. And you can feel that there are several of them that are approaching the area that the dwarf is currently in a stupor, having been blown back, and already in an injured state. And you may not speak the dwarven tongue, but you for sure hear a sigh and a bit of a growl at the same time in Dwarvish, where he simply says, "Bogans." You feel...
Is he like?
Oh, go ahead.
Is he in a room or a hallway?
He's in a room. He was probably messing around in the engine room where there was the damage, and he got upset, kicked a panel, and you blew him back.
Can I keep the door locked? Or kind of get a sense that I don't want the dwarf and the goblins to see each other?
Well, the contact has been made because he growled that they're here.
Well, he heard them. Doesn't mean he's seen them.
You don't know that he hasn't seen them.
I don't know that he hasn't seen them. Although I have a sense for where everyone is.
But do this. Make a will save.
Will save?
Yeah.
Wisdom.
I'm sorry,
Wisdom.
wisdom.
Nope.
Okay. You want to enact this, and you're thinking, all right, come on. Shut the door. And the door kind of it shuts partly, and it makes a creaking sound just due to the disjointed joints that are there. And you feel that the bogans are approaching that door and are close. And in Dwarvish, he can't really shout because he's fading in and out of consciousness in this state. He says something, though, that does seem to have a growl or a menace.
Good. It's not much.
You get a weird feeling.
Okay, wait.
Oh.
I'm gonna use thaumaturgy to slam the door shut. It's unlocked.
Yeah. All right.
So I can slam it shut.
You refocus and you extend your thaumaturgy out. Bang. So it does, and you do learn that you are able to manipulate the ship in this way, which is cool, and the good news. The bad news is that the door is also unlocked.
Yeah. Well, that's the first step.
Well, we're learning. You're reaching out. You're trying. You get you get that weird I don't know, shiver, like people who scrape nails on a chalkboard or like a fork on a plate, as the dwarf, kind of in his haze, tries to draw a knife from his belt, and it kind of scrapes along the floor as he's holding it out to try and defend himself from the bogans that are getting close. And so as it's scraped, you're actually kind of feeling that vibration of the metal on the metal.
Okay.
The bogans approach, though the dwarf doesn't move. And in fact, you can even feel and very faintly hear the tingle of a knife that has fallen to the metal floor. There is some chatter. The one heavy presence and several lighter presents simply go to a few medium pressure presents. And then that presence departs, leaving you with just some goblins crawling over you and through the corridors.
Okay.
Meanwhile, you have departed. You're walking, talking, humming. Mordecai, I mean, I don't know, Mordecai, if you're like in a super happy, chippy mood. It's still overcast and a bit humid on this late summer evening. Well, at late afternoon, it's going into evening time. But you are practicing your song. There is a growing stillness where, at least before, I mean, yeah, it was a metal hulk, it was overgrown, but the wind still did pass through it. There were still the chirping of summer bugs and of birds and all manner of things. But now things are getting a little quiet. The shadows are getting longer. And besides the sounds of, well, that Mordecai is making, nature itself has been growing quieter the closer you get. And you all can see in the late afternoon now that there is another set of huts. Though these ones are better made than the initial village that you had encountered. They look more permanent, more solid. You are still seeing or you're seeing animal skulls and other such things. That is consistent. What you're not seeing is, while there are people who lived here, there is no one here. Gak would have been very cautious. Would have asked you to wait to scout ahead. I mean, I don't know if Loki would want to go ahead with them or not, but in this midway village, there are no doppels. There are these faces carved into the trunks. And in a sense, I mean, you're seeing Mordecai and Celine. You are seeing signs similar to the cave that you had encountered, where there used to be another big tree and the like. But any of the doppels who lived here are no longer here. And this is also not a recent abandonment. It's not like there's a fresh apple with a bite taken out of it that's just, in the mud. The village, or the villas, the huts and stuff are still here. But this place has not been lived in a while.
Yeah. I'm not real happy with this situation. I don't like these trees.
These trees are eerie. Anyone notice how quiet it is?
You spoke to trees.
Because my perception is never better than 10. But I don't like these trees. Do they look familiar to you?
They seem a little oddly familiar. If I stare at where the face is carved in the trees long enough, does it move?
No.
Yeah, they don't always move. Sometimes they just have faces. They're like the side trees. I wonder where the main tree is. And boy, it would sure be nice if we had Norallie for this.
Yeah, what? Are we expecting to find something, aberrant like Shonda Ruth, or are we expecting to find something a little more vampiric and old porty? With the fountain. I'm kind of expecting, what happened at the fountain in Oldport. Where, our, ability to, chase off undead is gonna be no bueno. What can you tell us about this, Gak?
This is where, well, this was the edge of where our people lived. But after the people had came from the fallen ship, the things that we had done had changed. The faces they carved, the things that were displayed. This was more what we had displayed before. what you saw where you had crashed, we were told to put up the skulls of others as a warning. We never wanted to put up the skulls of people. We would display those of the wildlife that lived here as a tribute to them, as an honor of the hunt, of the meat that they gave. And
Makes sense.
when those who came from the ship, they told us to do other things. They told us that the things that we believed were wrong. And we couldn't help it. And so you see, the people who lived here, they carved these faces like we would carve faces, or that we would as a show of appreciation. But these faces are bad faces. But these people aren't here now. I don't think they're even people. They were food, or they're brought back to where we're going.
It's a ghost town.
Doesn't like
Is
the
that-
shadow had to do such a thing.
This is, from what I was told, these were supposed to be in honor of their leader. That the faces are supposed to extol the one who wed them from the ship.
Is it a familiar face?
No.
No. Okay. Thought I'd ask.
That's a good question. But it didn't work. It was never enough. A lot of us had continued to flee further, to the hill and beyond, and we had our own little village. We were being monitored. They sent someone to at least keep an eye on us, to ask us for contributions. They would leave us alone if we would do the things that they wanted. We didn't want to end up like the ones who are here and the ones further beyond.
Well, let's see what's going on further beyond.
Gak kind of sniffles a bit, and I'm sorry, I'm terrified right now.
I'm kind of just going to rest a hand on Gak's shoulder and, just try and reassure him, try and, give him a little, maybe a tiny pep talk, that things are going to be all right. He's got us here now, that he's not alone, and, that kind of a thing.
That I'm blessed to be with those two who can speak to the wind. I'm sorry, I should have more confidence.
No, it's understandable to be scared. To be brave is not the absence of fear. It is knowing that something else is more important than your fear.
To act despite fear is what courage and valor are.
I've learned that the hard way.
I hope I can learn from what you have learned then, Mordecai.
Trust me, I am a big old coward.
That can't be true. Look at you here after all you've done. You've killed the Emperor of the Shadowheart. You've braved the Dwarven Lands. You are here. After anything else you haven't even told me. How are you a coward?
I am the biggest coward that I know. You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
Well, I don't. I don't believe you're a coward. And if
You
I
can
don't,
believe what you
then
like.
you shouldn't either. No. Let's not be cowards together.
Exactly.
But with night approaching, well, they mostly come out at night. Mostly. And
Mostly.
I'm happy that we haven't encountered anyone so far. But that's no guarantee that moving forward we won't. I will do my best to stay aware, but I need your eyes and ears as well. With any luck, I can show you the main village. And hopefully, if what you need, it's not going to be in the village. It's going to be in what lies just around it. And so we'll get there, and we'll move. Okay. He's breathing, like, he's kind of breathing heavily and, like, trying to... You see he's trying to, like, get himself in a zone. Gag, you can do this. Just go. 1 foot forward. 1 foot forward. Okay.
I am actually going to spend a use of my Eyes of the Grave, and while we're walking through this village, I'm going to be checking for undead.
Ah, very good.
Well, bam.
Within 60 feet of you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Just keeping my eyes open, looking for anything that pings on my radar.
Yeah. I would like you, as we're traveling here, all right, so this is until the end of your next turn. Go ahead and make a perception check then.
Okay. Yep, it's just for my one turn.
It's just a little... Woo, there's a green number. All right.
Natural 20. What do my formerly vampire guys see?
They see that the skulls that have been mounted do have a necromantic glow to them. So the skulls are necromantic in some way, are undead. Now, there's no apparent way that they can change their position. In fact, they don't even really... you're not seeing... I mean, there's other bones kind of around. But it would appear that it's just the skulls that have a necromantic aura to them.
And from what I can gather, it doesn't look like they can move.
It doesn't appear that they can.
Yep, any skull that we pass, definitely keeping eyes on. You know, even if I'm not popping Eyes to the Grave,
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely keeping an eye out for those things, because I never know if some ghosty doohickey is gonna lift off of one of them and just attack us with, like, bull horns or something.
Okay. That's...
I mean, undead skulls aren't so bad.
Oh no, Bright.
Oh no, Bright, I love you.
Alright, guys. Never trust a floating skull. They're all terrible. Blast the first one you see. Bright now cut over to her with, like, big wobbly eyes. Like, oh. Skulls aren't so bad. Not all.
You're invalidating 99.98. You're invalidating 99,900 years of my life. You're telling me my a lot of my existence is invalid. Yeah.
So knowing
yeah.
that at least the skulls here are enchanted in some way, you continue walking. And dusk turns into the early vestiges of night. And ahead, you can see in a low-lying area, somewhat swampy, there are lights. The vestiges of living people who must need light at night to get by. If it wasn't for the fact that you're even feeling on this approach, you've just been getting terrible feelings. For each of you, it's going to manifest in different ways. A chill, a shortness of breath even. Celine, for you, you're getting the faintest flicker of the pull of the life force that burns inside you. Not that it's being extinguished or that it's being consumed, but as you approach, there just feels to be a tug of the life energy inside of you. Like it's almost being drawn here like a magnet, or it's a wind kind of blowing over a candle flame and it's bending the flame and threatening to extinguish it. But right now it's there and pointing in the direction where the wind is going.
I feel it. There's something here.
You feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. I don't like the sound of that.
Something is attempting to pull me in.
Wait, what? What? What do you mean?
I can feel the life force that animates me. This, like a wind across a candle flame, being drawn in the direction of something in there.
Is that the same kind of feeling that we felt when we were in front of Weedjazz? She was tugging at us too?
Yes.
Oh, I don't like that.
Well, I'm glad I sat that one out. Do you suppose it's another... do you suppose it's another Raphael kind of being? Someone who's more like you, or someone who's... Or do you think it's a natural force?
For those of you, especially Celine, you don't have enough of a flavor yet to answer the question with definitiveness.
I can't give you a definitive answer on that, Bright.
Do I feel anything? Anything like resembling the Shown Earth trees? Or... I don't know, anything?
No, this, I mean, it's creepy, and it is, I mean, this place has started to fall into a derelict state. There are lights on in here, but, this is, it is a larger concentration of where these doppels had lived. Like, this would be like a small city of these huts that have been built upon each other and such. But this place is... It is too still. It is too stagnant. This is supernaturally unnatural, but not in the way that Shonaruth has an effect on things.
Oh, that's good, I guess. Loki, does it make you feel weird?
Loki is going to... Loki, I wouldn't say that you're excited, because this is a very threatening place for you. But there is just something about this place that actually seemingly... Maybe you could prove yourself. Maybe you could be a big hero. Maybe this place is... Like, there's something about this place that just has you...
Riled up, basically.
Yeah, you are riled up.
Well, I'm ready whenever you are.
How big is the village?
It's large. Now, there wasn't the intention to go in there, but we're talking, even the diminutive stature of the doppels, there would be, there might be 10,000 of them that live in this, kind of this depressed between hills, swampy area here.
And no sign of life at all.
No. I know the background
So-
music has like a wolf howling and stuff, but that's kind of whatever.
No, I keep that muted.
Okay, well then
Sorry.
never mind. It's completely quiet.
Were we wanting to set up camp? Because I
But
may be able to
the
set up
trees, the trees would be dead. By the way, like I know there's some leaves on here too, but yeah, there's no leaves. Nothing is really stirring in the water. It like there's not even really a wind. There's just yeah.
blankness.
Yeah.
Death.
Well, I could send in my arcane eye to look around.
And I could conjure up a small temple. I did prepare that today. If we wanted to actually sleep.
I mean, I could use Peggy Sue, but I don't know. I feel like the magic eye is safer right now. I wouldn't want her to get smushed.
Getting a look around and figuring out what we're up against might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, right. I'll conjure up the arcane eye,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll send it in to poke around.
Okay. And how far away from you can that operate? Oh, no limit.
As
Okay.
far as it, yeah. No,
Yeah. All right.
It just has to travel to that point.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just it can only move 30 feet per turn. That's all.
All right. As you are doing this, you're sending it forward. It's going to have some room to travel because it's not like, oh, we're 100 feet outside town. Like you are on the precipice of the depression in the land where this is resting, and it would still be like a 10-minute walk or so in order to get down into it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, it lasts for an hour. So
Yeah.
if it takes 10 minutes to get there, plus it floats, so if there's rough terrain or whatever, it doesn't. It's not
Gak asks, "Can one of you hold her so we can keep moving? I don't want to stay still."
What do you mean?
I think.
Yeah, Bright could still move if she's concentrating on an arcane eye.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not incapacitated when I do this one.
oh, okay. I'm
This
sorry.
one's
Never
picture
mind.
in picture. It's better than familiar.
That's right. Yeah, it is. That's right. Yeah. All right. So anyway, he's gonna ask if you can keep moving after you. If we can just go, and I'll take you. You'll probably find even the things that you want where we're going.
Yeah, let's keep going. And Celine, if that tug gets a little too strong, you let me know.
Yeah. If this tug gets strong, I'll know we're close.
So you all are beginning to circle the drain, so to speak.
I wonder where we dealt with the spiral before. Looks down.
You.
I see the pattern that forms.
As you're walking, and now rather quietly, at least as quietly as you can, because not all of you are quiet.
Nope.
Bright,
Chunk, chunk, chunk.
while you're skirting around here, your arcane eye is going through this place, and you are seeing that anyone here is most likely dead, but also still moving. You are seeing skeletons and zombies. There's no incorporeal undead that you're seeing, but that might also be the point. But they're going through the motions of like sitting down and eating, even though there's nothing in their bowls. But you will have a doppel that is clearly dead and in a semi-decayed state, just sitting and just eating. You'll have ones that are walking the streets, but they're just walking. Like, this is a weird mockery of a city.
So, good news. There's nobody alive in the city. Bad news. Yeah, there's nobody alive in the city. It's all undead. And
Okay.
so good news, 2 clerics, but yeah, lots of undead. Seems like mostly the basics, zombies, skeletons.
What would be the point?
If there was any greater undead, they might be invisible, and then I wouldn't see them, because this is only dark vision. It doesn't see invisibility. Although if I need true sight, I can always do a scry if we want more recon. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's responsible for this.
It seems like some kind of sick joke to animate a bunch of people to carry on their mundane lives.
Well, maybe the arcane eye should move toward the center where the funny feelings were emanating from.
Not a bad idea.
Okay, yeah, you can keep sending it along as you're skirting around. You are seeing, Bright, a lot more of the same, despite it being night. There are just things that are going through motions. Now, you are seeing that there are some that are acting a little bit less rote, a little bit more independently. And they do appear to be doppels, though there's a bit of a red glow in their eyes that would indicate that they're not just doppels. Might be vampires or otherwise afflicted in some way. And they're walking through the middle of this small city. And so they're taking the direct route to where you are, as you are continuing to circle around this area here. Any other questions or commentary before continuing on?
No, not really. I mean, I'd tell everybody that, but
Okay.
We'll let the eye float a little higher in the air. We don't want it bumping into anything.
Bright?
It can float over everything instead of... I was just saying, like, let it float about 10 feet in the air.
Yeah.
That's probably good.
And yeah, you're definitely seeing that nothing is immune, because you are seeing animals, you're seeing kids, you're seeing adults, like anything that was alive here is no longer. Now, back to the rest of you here. As you've been going around, Celine, your kind of flicker sense is, as you've been skirting around, it's not bringing you to the middle of this city. It's what lies just beyond it. And it's what is lying ahead of you. As you get closer, you can see, there it is. The front half of the wild cherry. Also in a bit of a derelict state, having crashed into the swampy lands here. No lights. No lights at all in the wreckage, unlike the city, quote-unquote.
There.
But your life is flickering in that, well, your borrowed life is flickering in that direction. And whatever is drawing it in and giving you all this, again, like an unnatural shortness of breath, a cold sweat. Like your bodies, for those of you who are living, are having just these reactions of faintness, of a kind of a lethargy or like an enfeeblement. Nothing mechanical at this point, but like you might lose the feeling in your toes or fingers for a little bit, and then you kind of rub them and it comes back.
Oh, that's no good.
But whatever it is absolutely emanating from the front half of the wild cherry. And it is here that we will end the session for the night.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Did we get a short rest?
You got a short rest from when you left the rear of the ship, walking here.
Okay.
Yes.
So I am going to want to spend hit dice. Okay.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I don't need to spend hit dice.
I do. Because I am only on half health.
But all of
good
that,
sheep.
What's that?
It has good sheep.
There are sheep here, although I'm sorry to tell you, Fluffy, they're not so alive. But there are sheep here grazing, quote-unquote.
probably makes it sound like that.
Do you think we'll be able to get a long rest before we go in? I don't know.
I can
Seems like the
I can
it seems
still
like
set
the
up the Temple of the Gods. It takes an hour.
yeah.
You have a
Seems
level
like
7
the
spell
ship
slot to
and the-
do that?
I do.
Question. How long is my HP max lowered?
I think it's till you rest next, right?
Yeah.
Or until it's
you
healed.
Or
can
until
have
it's healed.
baby arms, but
If we want to do a long rest, I'll spend the spell slot and give us a temple.
well, I just don't know. I mean, it seems like the town center and the ship are kind of separate entities right now, but I'm not sure which one we should go into first. And I don't know. I was hoping to get the recon from the arcane eye at the town center before we make decisions.
The hit point, the max hit point drain is until you finish a long rest, Loki. The town center is just that. There's a town center. There's a couple skeletons on a bench that are sitting there. It looks like a public square. There are things in the public square. but it's all just a mockery of a city.
Celine, did you say you felt like a presence that was like pulling at you like Ouija's? But it doesn't seem like, I don't know, maybe you can give me more precise directions? Maybe I can move my eye to it.
It was
because I'm
being
not
pulled
finding
here.
any-
To the
Like,
ship.
when she detected
Oh,
it,
here,
it was
okay.
being pulled like through the city, but you were going around the city. And so as she was
Okay.
going around the city, her compass kept flickering. So from where you came onto the scene, yeah, it would have seemed like maybe the town square. But that's because if you could have just traveled straight through, but you were going around.
Gotcha.
So the source of this bad feeling and what is pulling at the life force contained in Celine is here in the head of the ship.
Okay.
This,
Do you
I
want
can
me to
set up a
send you
temple of
another
the.
arcane eye?
What's that?
How big is this ship area?
It's just outside of the back half of the city here. It might be a block or two long, long, not totally square.
Yeah, okay. Well, if we're gonna take a rest, it wouldn't hurt so much for me to send in another arcane eye.
Like I said, that's something that I still have a spell slot for, so if we want to spend it, we can.
It's up to you guys.
So how far away is the arcane eye from us then?
Probably like because yeah, you've gone around probably a half mile.
All right, I'll just cast it again, locally. Sorry to prevent you from ending the session.
It's fine.
Okay.
I mean, really, if you guys want to keep playing, I'll keep running, but I want to be sensitive to your time because it's almost 3.
Because I do have to work in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I want to send in another arcane eye, and I'll recast it. I'll cast it at level 6, but that's okay.
Okay.
And I get a level 5 back. Send it in to explore the ship. See if I can find that doohickey that's pulling on Celine.
Okay. Then what I will do is I'll end it here as you send it off to explore.
Okay.
That way I can give you information and you can make your decisions with us having the rest of the night ahead of us.
Yeah. Of course.
So yeah, we will stop that here with a little where's little arcane eye. Bloop. Well, thank you very much. I know I went over. I'm sorry, Coffee. If you're really hurting, like, dude, come on.
No, I just want to know: do we want a long rest so that we can actually just do that when we come back?
Yeah, I think we should find out the situation in there first. That's why I wanted to cast the eye.
Yep. So
Maybe we can handle that in the off week. Like if we get some recon information, then we can decide on a long rest and come into the next session prepped with whatever we decided to do. I think that would work for me.
Yeah. So then let's put a pin in it and we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right.
Because it's available. Should we want it?
Well, something to keep in mind too
he's a warlock.
is I can't stop you, nor can Gax stop you from casting it. You have all the time that you want. Gax people apparently don't.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can shelter in this thing and be fine and comfy cozy and get a full night's sleep. These things apparently are just waking up to start whatever they're going to do.
Well, the temple also lasts for 24 hours, so it would also be a safe retreat spot, too.
That's excellent for the couple of you. I won't stop you from casting that spell.
Well, it's not limited to just our party. It blocks out creatures of a type that I choose.
Right.
Any number of types that you choose.
Right.
Just use it to
So-
block the doorway so nothing can leave.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, I'm not denying it. You all will be safe.
Yeah, but I suppose the reprisal thing.
Yeah.
I suppose we'll be going in by halves, I think. We don't have a choice.
I wish I had Magnificent Mansion instead of Temple of the Gods. Because that's an action to cast.
That it is.
Well, everyone, I'm going to take us on a raid here. So, Coffee, you go get some sleep. I'll probably following shortly. We're going to go raid Nickabrack, who's doing a biology of beasts discussion, and I don't know which monster they're talking about tonight. But let's stop in and find out. See how she's applying what we know of real life biology to fantasy creatures. So come along with me, everyone. I'll be on Discord if you need me. Thank you for hanging out for another Friday, and be well. And when we come back tomorrow, Darkwolf and I will be broadcasting from the store and painting up Red Slod for the paint night. Woohoo! So, bye, everyone out there. Be well, and I hope you all really enjoyed the new intro if you saw it. If not, come back next Friday to see it again. Be well.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All the complaints of pregnancy.